Hey everybody, Shane Plays here with hopefully a quick video. I know I always say that, but today I'm going to try to deliver. I'm actually recording this before work, so I need to be quick. What we're going to be talking about today is not America, but the Star Wars role-playing game, Star Wars the role-playing game from West End Games that came out in 1987. We've got the original game book here. And then you had the source book. Both of these came out in 1987, and they were big hits. One for just Star Wars fans in general. At that time, you didn't have a lot of extra lore for Star Wars. In fact, when they were, I think, writing some of the extended universe books and comic books and stuff like that, they referred back to, like the lore books and source books that. And modules and published adventures and that sort of thing that West End Games have come up with. Also, this was one of the first games to use the dice pool. It used a dice pool of 6-sided dice. West End Games Ghostbusters, a game of frightfully fun role playing game or something like that, which a lot of people have, including myself, have fond memories for. Introduced, I think, the dice pool mechanic for West End Games. Other games may have used it, but Star Wars used it. Shadowrun uses it. Other role-playing game systems out there use it. But anyway, what we're specifically going to be talking about today is Fantasy Flight Games, which actually owns the license now, the role-playing game license for Star Wars. Recently issued a 30th anniversary edition of the Star Wars role-playing game from West End Games, which is really cool. And what they've done is evidently their complete reproductions is evidently super authentic of those two books that I just showed you, the main role-playing game and the source book. Now, this retails or list for $59.95. You can buy it at various prices online or whatever, but I always urge you to support your local game store because they provide community, not just product. Anyway, we're just going to bust this open and take a look at it, and then that'll be the video. So you're going to know as much as I do. I'm opening this up right now. I would like to say while I'm opening this up that I think a Star Wars game should... is this going to be embarrassing where I'm not actually going to be able to open this up? I think a Star Wars game should play fast and be somewhat rules light. And because Star Wars itself, people lose sight of the fact that Star Wars itself, it's a space opera. It's science fiction space opera based on the old serials, the old movie serials like Flash Gordon and stuff like that. It's not intended to be a super heavy, super deep thing. Now, it's become so much of a mythology and a lore in our culture that I think we lose sight of that fact. But this plays pretty fast, pretty quick. In fact, there's discussion of game master notes in this version that horrify role players today. I've seen discussion of it, but it's basically like, don't give the players time to think. Just move, 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 move. It's like, keep the action going, 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 going. And the current, oh, look at that. That is very nice. Of course, this is just a dust cover, if you will. Oh, that is very nice. Look at that. Oh, oh, man, that's nice. I'm impressed. Very nice, Fantasy Flight. Which makes what I have to say a little harder. The current Fantasy Flight Star Wars role-playing game system is a cool system in and of itself. However, it's too detailed and I guess too rich, if you will. It's too robust. I don't know the right word. It's too crunchy, with too much crap going on with the dice and this and that. For a Star Wars game to reflect what Star Wars should be. Oh man, I like that a lot. That is just pretty. Let's see if I can... Man, that's nice. Okay, so then we get these books out. There they are. Oh, those are nice. Now, one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat, I'm going to set this off to the side. One thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is these covers are very glossy. Ooh, they got that new book smell. But they look just like, you know, the look like as promised. They're pretty much exact reproductions. They even left the West End Games logo on here, even though it's Fantasy Flight Games now. So I'm going to grab. So here's Sourcebook. This Sourcebook is glossy, but it's not as shiny as this one. This is the reproduced version. This is the anniversary edition. So I don't know if you can see the difference there, but this is shinier, the new version. So I feel like the materials. Wait a minute, I'm actually getting confused as to which one is which. Wow, they did a really good job reproducing this. I mean, the back, everything is exactly the same. Like if I didn't know which book was which, I wouldn't be able to tell right off the bat. I would have to put them right next to each other. The only way I can tell that this is the one from the slipcase anniversary edition is because it's shinier than this one. Other than that, I would not be able to tell. That's really impressive. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I'll flip through it. Yeah, I mean, this is an exact reproduction. Let's see what the... I mean, even the indicia here, it even says first printing November 1987, et cetera, et cetera. I can't find anything in here. Oh, and to give credit, it's Bill Slavicek and Curtis Smith, I guess, wrote the source book. Well, there's a Carillion YT 1300. Okay, that is really impressive. Sorry for the noise. So here's the role-playing game itself. Pop this open. Said in memory of Stuart Week, without whom this would be possible. I'll check. Okay, now on the inside here, you've got some information about Fantasy Flight Games. Whereas if I get the original and pop that open, there's nothing on the inside here. So that's one way to identify which one you're looking at, is it's got that. And it says, in memory of Stuart Week, without whom this would not be possible. I don't know who Stuart was, but Stuart, thanks for your contribution to Star Wars and the role-playing game world. Yeah, and I mean, even the indicia on this one even says, you know, first printing October 1987. So I don't want to belabor the point, but I'm fairly certain if I did a page-by-page comparison, that these would hold up with the original. Now, one thing I'm noticing that's different on the back, the originals have this seal on the back of it. The first 10 years. Imagine that. Oh, Star Wars has only been around 10 years. I remember that. I remember when these books came out. I was, I think, 15, and I went and got them. And we didn't have a lot of Star Wars lore. The Timothy Zahn books hadn't even been written yet. Heir to the Empire and all that. Yeah, so they have this seal on them. And then the reproductions, which surprises me because everything else seems to be so accurate, have this 40 symbol on them. There you go. So, you know, I picked up my originals at conventions, at a couple of different conventions. I'm a bit of a role-playing game collector. A lot of the stuff I'm collecting I used to have, don't have anymore. So, but this is nice. This makes it really easy. And I hope to see some West End Games Star Wars role-playing happening again. As I was saying earlier, just the Fantasy Flight game system is nice, but it's just too crunchy. It's not fast. I mean, if you fight a squad of stormtroopers, it's a long combat and super deadly, you know, and it just doesn't feel like that it really reflects the speed and space opera of Star Wars. Not to say that it's a bad system, but you have all these extra dice and stuff that you have to learn that once again is neat, but I'm not sure what it adds to the game is worth the investment of learning that different dice system and everything. Anyway, so here's the, again, this is, man, what a nice package. So what's in here? Oh, look at that. And then there's a pretty smart, Fantasy Flight put a little, ad inside the slipcase for Star Wars role-playing for their current edition. And if you like the current edition, more power to you. Like I said, I don't dislike it. I just don't feel that it's a major good fit for what Star Wars role-playing should be. So there you go. Man, that is super nice. All right.
Let's punch it.
Punch it! Punch it!
Punch it!
All right, Chewie, punch it!
Punch it! Punch it, we can beat him.
Punch it!
Punch it!
Punch it! Let's get the hell out of here!